What's up, y'all? This is Brave, and I'm back for another review of Toya and Reginae. This is Season 1, Episode 6. This is actually the season finale, and the episode is titled, In Search of Miss Anita. Let's jump right into the review. So we start this episode off where we left off last episode, and that is with Toya confronting Red about where his ring is. He finally comes clean and says he lost the ring, but he did order another one. Her whole point is, baby, I already knew that you lost the ring. You should have just said something. So what happens? They bring in the friends and their opinions and all of this, because we already know that her best friend knew about it. Her husband knew about it. And they're making this all so much more messier than what it had to be. Now, when it comes to Red, I just feel like, sir, you could have just up and told her, like, listen, I lost the ring, but another one's coming. Reassured her that it was not on purpose and that you're not going to lose the next one. So, y'all, I did not peep that it was Mario and Reva there for Ready to Love. I said, oh, y'all friends with Toya? That's random. But nonetheless, they end up, I guess you could say, making up, because next thing you know, they got up saying they can get them a vitamin drip. And I'm just like, yeah, because all of this was for the show. But this was cute. This was real cute. Y'all, let's go ahead and move on to the next scene. So we see Toya and Red. They are on their way to Joshé's graduation. And I didn't even think they were going to shoot this. You know what I'm saying? Anything else about Joshé. But I'm glad that they included it. So Toya is preparing to be loud and proud. And Red is trying to tell her, girl, you got to bring it down a couple of notches. Because Toya is very excited that Joshé is graduating. She has signs with her face on it. Like, it's a whole thing. And she's like, I'm about to be yelling to the top of my lungs because I'm happy that this girl has graduated. And Red is like, well, that means that you're going to embarrass her. Girl, please. Toya don't care. And honestly, in those moments of like graduation or whatever, you do be wanting to hear your people. Like, you do be wanting to know that your family is there and they are supporting you. So Toya, she does talk about how she wished that her brother was there to see his daughter, walk across that stage. But unfortunately, as we all know, Josh actually passed away. Honestly, it was very beautiful to see that the whole family came to celebrate Joshé's graduation. Toya, she actually got very emotional in her confessional because she's not only losing technically two daughters, you know what I'm saying? Because Nay is about to leave and go to live in California. Joshé is about to go off to college. It's just a lot for her, especially considering now it'll just be her, Red, and little Rain, who's only about, 5 years old? This will be a major shift in her life, but I think Toya needs it. You know what I'm saying? Especially once she sees that her girls are able to handle life on their own. And I'm not saying that they won't need her sometimes, but I'm just saying, like, they will be able to survive out here. You know what I'm saying? And she did a job well done raising both of her girls. So we see Toya get back in the car with Red, right? And we learn that they're going to throw Joshé a big party for her graduation. Red won't be there because he has to go out of town for work. And he asked the question like, oh, so why your mama wasn't here? And y'all, I didn't even realize that Nita wasn't there when they took that group shot. So Toya mentions how her mom has been MIA for a while now. Ever since they took that little doctor's visit, Anita has been gone, okay? Where is Anita? I have no idea. But the first thing that came to my mind was, Anita, don't let us find out that you back on them drugs, okay? You have come too far. You don't need to go down that path no more. And I can't be the only one who had that first thought in their mind when they said Nita was MIA. But nonetheless, we're going to slide on over to Toya and her bestie, Danielle. Y'all, I completely forgot that Toya's real name is Antonia until her friend said it. I was like, oh shoot, that is her name. Alright, so Toya came over so that way she could talk to her friend about the fact that Red wants to have another baby. However, Toya actually feels like her fibroids might be back, unfortunately. We are hoping that that is not true because, oh my gosh, I feel like every reality show that we have watched, you guys, there is a black woman on there who has fibroid issues. And I'm just like, doctors, scientists, I need somebody to figure out what is going on and why do black women have such a high rate of fibroids. Like, it is crazy. But nonetheless, she's like, my body has gone through so much, just to get Rain here. Hell, before Rain was even here, I was going through a lot with my body, and I just don't want to have to go through that again. And that is completely understandable. Like, sometimes when men request to have more kids, they don't realize the physical strain or even the mental strain that it puts on the mother. So, according to Toya, she doesn't want to disappoint her husband and not be able to give him another baby because she actually wants another child as well, but she's afraid because the doctor may tell her she cannot have any more kids or there might be some issues. But Danielle tells her, which is great advice, go to the doctor, girl. Get all your, blood work and everything done so that way you can already have those answers. And then when you go and talk to your husband and be like, okay, well, this is what's going on with my body. Either we can have a baby or we can't. Or we need to find another solution to having a baby. But y'all, let's go ahead and move on because we see Toya, she's helping Rain do some little puzzles or whatever. And Beanie comes through. Now, y'all, I cannot lie. Beanie had on this dress that it was a bit revealing just because you see like the underboob or whatever. And I don't know why, but I was just like, I just never expected for her to wear that. Not that I know Beanie or anything like that, but for some reason that dress just did not seem like it was her vibe. But it was cute nonetheless. But she talks about how she has this outfit on because she's going to go see her boyfriend, Ricky. They're going to go get something to eat. But that's not the point of this conversation. We got to talk about the fact that Nina has been MIA, okay? Beanie is like, have you even talked to Mama? Because I've reached out to her and I'm not getting any responses. I don't think Casey has talked to her. And if she is, feeling some type of way because Josh has graduated and Josh wasn't there, like, we just need to know where you at, girl, and what's going on. And Toya, she's like, that's not a reason for her to push everybody away. So the two sisters are hoping that their mom will show up to Josh's birthday party. And I'm just like, well, we shall see. Now, y'all, we see Toya have a phone conversation with none other than Queen of OBGYNs. It is Dr. Jackie, okay? Baby, one thing about Jackie is that the roster is long with celebrity clients. You hear me? So they talk about the fact that Red, he wants another baby, and she wants to know what she can do about this considering she has a fibroid issue. Well, Jackie lets her know that because of the placement and size of her fibroids, there could definitely be complications if she wants to have a baby because the baby may not properly develop or she could definitely miscarry. And now with this information, she has to go take this to Red. It's just a lot because she doesn't want to disappoint him. And now there's added pressure. You know what I'm saying? But I'm just like, Toya, Red seems very understanding. So I can only see him being a very supportive husband in that moment, All right, so we actually see Reginae. She is packing her entire house up because she is ready to get up out of that house, okay? She says she ain't been there since somebody tried to break in, and now she is ready to move to LA. We see she has a FaceTime call with Taina. Most of us know her from being Emily B. And Fabulous's daughter. Fabulous's stepdaughter. Or should I even say that? Because they're not together no more, but he raised her. Y'all know what I'm saying. And she dates, or I don't know if they're together or not, G Herbo. And, she had a internet beef with that girl, Ari. Now, here's the thing, you guys. I kind of think if WeTV wanted to make some more views and coins, we should get a Reginae and Taina take LA. I'm just saying, I would watch. I think that I would love to see Reginae adjusting to, living in LA. I would not mind seeing Taina because the only thing that we know about that girl is that she dates G Herbo. We don't really know much about Taina like that. She don't really speak. She don't say too much. It's always Ari going off on her. So I think this will be a great way for people to get to know her being a single mom, because I don't think she's with G Herbo anymore. Nah, I don't think so. Her being a single mom of two, that would be interesting. At least to me it would be. Especially if they set it up how reality shows used to be set up back in the day. Not in the sense of like Paris Hilton and Nicole, but like remember when the Kardashians used to get spinoffs and it would be like Kim and Khloe take Miami or Courtney and Khloe take some other city? I think it'd be cute. A little Reginae and Taina take LA. I'm just saying, WeTV, hire your girl. So, nonetheless, it was cute to see their friendship, but let's go ahead and move on because we got to get to Joshé's, her party. Toya went a little overboard when it came to this party because Joshe wanted something very calm and probably low-key, but that's just not who Toya is, and everybody is there to celebrate her graduating. Now, y'all, we get to see Ricky meet Casey, right? And honestly, Ricky may be a very nice guy, but that teeth setup that he has, it is bothering my spirit. I don't know if it's gold, platinum, metallic, brass, bronze, nickel. I don't know what is in his mouth. It's just a lot going on. I'm like, half of it look black. What's happening? So Casey, he's just telling Ricky how, Beanie is always talking about him. She really likes him. And Ricky, he's like, Beanie is a little flower. She's very delicate. And I was like, oh my gosh, that is so sweet. Like, for him to be like such a hood boy, or at least that's what he giving off. What he said about her, that was pretty nice. I was kind of surprised. So on the other side, we see Danielle, Toya, and Beanie talking. And they talk about how she's basically glowing now because she's in a better relationship. Beanie says that she's getting to know herself better. She's around her family more. And she's in a good place. And I'm like, you know what, girl, that's good for you. It seems like you are with somebody who actually wants to give you the time of day and wants to be with you. So we actually jump back to the guys talking, and they're like, so y'all in like a long distance type of relationship or whatever. And Ricky's like, yeah, for now, but either she's going to move to New Orleans or I'm going to move here. And Casey is like, yeah, so you're going to move here. And he's like, or she's going to move to New Orleans. Now, it is interesting that Toya's entire family has moved to Atlanta. You know what I'm saying? Like, usually, like, a couple of family members would still stay in New Orleans or whatever. But it is clear that that is not a good place for their family. Now, I'm not sure about this, because maybe somebody can tell me in the comments. Did Toya's brothers get murdered in New Orleans? Because if that is the case, I absolutely understand why the entire family packed on up and moved to Atlanta. But I just cannot recall if that happened in Atlanta or if it happened in New Orleans. But I feel like it happened in New Orleans. Somebody let me know in the comments. So if that's the case, I completely understand why Casey is like, nope, no thank you. We can only go down there to visit. We do not live there. So we see the sisters talk about how they cannot find a mama. She didn't show up to the party. And Beanie is like, nah, I'm just going to go ahead and pull up on her at some point, because this is not like her to be MIA the way that she's been going. And of course, nobody wants it to be that she's back on drugs, because she's made it far not using them. So girl, please stay on the straight and narrow. All right, so now we see Reginae and Toya in the car because Reginae is about to be off to LA. Toya is still feeling away about it, but she's proud of her daughter. She's like, you picked a good place to stay. It's a perfect amount of space for when we come and visit. And like I said, I think that these two needed it because they've been attached since Reginae has been born. So I think the separation will be great for them. So Toya actually tells Reginae about her fibroid issue and how she would have to get this surgery if she wants to have more kids. And unfortunately, in that moment, like, Reginae is like, I want to be there for you. But at the same time, it's like Reginae has to go spread her wings. You know what I'm saying? So even though she wants to be there for her mom the entire time and physically be there, she knows that she can't. Which is okay, Reginae. It's okay, Just call your mama, check up on her, FaceTime her all day. I think Toya would love that. So we do see that Reginae, she gets to the airport and she walks on in, and Toya has to stay back, of course, and let her daughter go fulfill her dreams. So we see Toya, she is looking for Red around the house, and she finally finds him. And he automatically knows that there is something up with her just by the conversation that she's trying to have with him. So she ends up letting him know about the situation at hand. She has these fibroids. She really needs to get them removed. She can't move forward with the pregnancy because of the complications that may happen. And Red is telling her, like, he's taking it all in. And he didn't even know the fibroids could grow back. But he tells her, like, listen, you have to get the surgery. Now, in that moment, you guys, I don't think that he's saying you have to get the surgery because I want a child. I think that he's saying you have to get this surgery because the fibroids are back. And he goes over to his wife and he wraps his arms around her and he's in full support of her. Because in this moment, she is crying because she doesn't want to have this surgery right now. She doesn't want to go through this again because she's already had this surgery. Like, I feel very bad for Toya in this moment. Now, in this moment, he is trying to be fully supportive of his wife because at the end of the day, for her health, she should be getting this surgery. But in her confessional, she's like, I don't think he understands, what this really means for me, especially the toll that it puts my body through. And I think that in that moment, he was just trying to be supportive in the way that he knew how. Now, I can't lie, y'all. With all of this happening in this scene, I said, you know what? Toya, you got you a good one, because I'm not exactly sure if there's any other TV husbands that would have, wrapped their arms around their wife and held them and told them how things would be okay, because the men on these other reality shows, please, they are not giving their wives the time of day to even care about their health, because they probably want whatever they want. We've seen it on Love and Marriage Huntsville, the way those husbands be treating their wives. Actually, the entire Love and Marriage franchise. But let's just go ahead and stay on this show. So, y'all, Casey done found a mama, okay? He done found her buying lottery tickets. And Toya tells him, bring her over my house, okay? So that way we can have a family meeting. So where was Anita at, y'all? She was basically in her own cubby hole because she just could not come around the family. She said that she was grieving really bad, her 2 sons who passed away, and it was just too much for her. So Toya is going off on her mama at this point because she's like, listen, sis, I understand that you've been grieving, but we have a lot of big family moments happening right now, and you should have been there. And I absolutely agree with Toya. Like, I get that you're going through your own stuff, but these are also milestones that other people are having that you should be a part of. So Toya is explaining to her mom that she is the glue to the family, so she got to keep them together. And I'm like, what's so funny is that for some reason we always have this idea that the older generation, they're supposed to be the glue. But if you really look at Toya's family, Toya is the glue. But I'm just going to let her go ahead and say this speech. So then you have Nita saying how she didn't like the fact that the kids weren't getting along. You know, Toya and Casey didn't see eye to eye. Beanie had her girlfriend drama. She didn't like none of that. But I'm just like, here's the thing, Nita. If you would have stuck around a little bit longer, you would have knew that your kids kind of figured it out and got it together. Now look at God, y'all. Casey said he in therapy. I said, yes, God. Because, sir, you needed it because the way you was talking to your family, completely out of line. Oh, Lord. I just feel like this just awakened a whole nother battle that I just thought that we got over, y'all. Like, this whole situation, I'm just like, well, what was the whole point of the conversation at the studio? Because I thought we were on the up and up. Baby, next thing you know, Toya is saying what she's saying. Casey saying what he gotta say. She telling him to put it on the floor because he feels like he has been through more than the rest of them. And I'm just like, well, I don't know, because your mama got her own story, and everybody has their own story. But then he goes on to talk about how Toya and Beanie, I guess, went to go stay with relatives. But when it came to the boys, they had to go stay, I guess, with their dad or something. But he talks about how it was crackheads and drug dealers in their house every day. When they was like 4 years old, they couldn't sleep. By the time he was 10, he was already going to jail. I'm just like, oh my God. Like, this is a lot. So then, you know, he's explaining how, you know, his family turns their back on him. Then he just kind of click out. He bring up, you know, whatever he got to say. Now, Toya, she's like, listen, again, we all have our own story. We all have had to deal with having Nita as a mama. And I'm the oldest. So I had to see things, you know what I'm saying, that I shouldn't have seen. Like, honestly, I feel so bad for them. Like, it is a blessing that those kids have made it to grown. For real. Because who knows all the things that they had to go through. Like, I feel like when people look at Toya at this point, yes, we know that her mom had a drug problem, but that is not the first thing that people think of. They think of, oh yeah, she had a baby by Lil Wayne, so that was her come up and all of that. But baby girl had a whole story before she even got to Lil Wayne. So y'all, in this moment, Toya is going off. She is expressing how, you know, at one point she was taken out of the situation, even though she wanted to be with her family because they have a bond that she's not included in. It's just a complete mess. Like, the breakdown of their family is a mess. And I know that they are trying, and all I can do is applaud them for trying to make this work. You know what I'm saying? They already lost 2 brothers to gun violence. Then I believe there's another brother that Toya had. I could have sworn they had another brother as well. I have no idea where he is. But at least they are trying to get it together. Like, we have definitely seen some effort on this show. So I'm hoping that by the time we get to season 2, you guys, there will be more effort. I feel like Toya getting all of this off of her chest was absolutely needed. Because honestly, when we were first watching this show, I'm just like, okay, how many times they gonna talk about how, you know, Casey said something crazy and how the family's not together and all of this. But I didn't realize that it was as deep as this. Especially when she said that he told her that it was her fault that her brothers were murdered. Like, that is absolutely insane for him to even say that. And this family, I want to see for season 2, I want to see them get a good therapist, you know, family therapist, because they clearly need it. And I just want better for them. Like, I really do. Like, this was an intense way to leave the season. For this to be the season finale, my God. Like, I really want to tune in for a season 2. And I really hope that this family gets the healing that they need. Because every last one of them has their own set of issues, as well as issues that are intertwined. It's just a lot. Y'all, let me know what y'all thought about this episode. Go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. And I will talk to y'all in my next review. Bye, guys.